the business of entrepreneurship and medium and small enterprises. Now let's get this conversation underway. The backdrop to this conversation was the latest move by Nigeria's central bank to open what we call the cash reserve ratio for banks to lend to agriculture and manufacturing sector big ticket companies at single digits, 9% to be precise. That's the backdrop for this. That's for big businesses. So we're taking that out of that and taking it to the street this morning. Let's get Celestine Okeke, who is the guest on the program today, to take us through this one by one and headline by headline. Celestine Okeke is a lead partner at SEEDI. That's an advocacy group for small and medium enterprises. Celestine, it's good to have you, and thank you very much for sharing the early part of your public holiday with us here live on the program.
Thank you, boss, and good morning.
It's good to have you once again. Let's unpack this one by one, and let's just start from the basics. It sounds like something that everybody knows, but let's get your response to this. Who is an entrepreneur?
No sound. Basically, in Nigeria here, we recognize MSMEs as small business holders who are either starting business or within the first 6, 7, 9 months of running a small business. And a couple of things that serve as challenges to small business holders in Nigeria. One is access to finance. But I'll keep saying this, access to finance is not the principal challenge MSMEs have. And as a matter of fact, it's not even in the top 3. It's somewhere in the top 5 or top 10, but not in the top 3.
So that's it.
So we want to pay so much attention to...
I'm sorry. May I cut in there respectfully? My question is, by whatever definition, who is an entrepreneur?
Oh, okay. An entrepreneur is anyone who identifies a business opportunity which arises from a need in a community and puts up structures to meet that need for the people who have such needs. So if I discover that people are having challenges moving around in a community, that's a need, and I see an opportunity in me starting a small business that addresses that need for them, I become an entrepreneur. So I don't have to be a male, I don't have to be a female, I don't have to be a Nigerian, I don't have to be an American. Once you can identify a need and put up structures to meet that need for a community of persons, you're an entrepreneur.
But again, is it the size that determines, is it the capital base, is it the bank balance sheet, or the number of customers that defines who an entrepreneur is?
Definitely not. Definitely not. Once you identify a need and you put up structures to meet that need, you're an entrepreneur. But you might be playing at various levels, either as a micro, a small, a medium, or a large enterprise. But so long as you are into business of meeting people's needs, you're an entrepreneur. It doesn't matter the size of your business. The size then comes to classification. Are you a micro, a small, a medium, or a large enterprise? But by and large, once you are running a business that meets people's needs, you're an entrepreneur.
By going by local structure of our economy, is there a difference between an entrepreneur and a trader?
No, there's really no difference. Just that several years ago, or for a long time, we all know them as traders. We call them traders, businessmen and women. There's really no difference. The act of running entrepreneurship might be trading. So it's either you are providing services or you are selling goods. So if you are selling goods, you are a trader. If you are providing services, you may not be called a trader. So there's really no difference between a trader and an entrepreneur. Trading is an aspect of entrepreneurship. It is not different from an entrepreneur.
Okay, very interesting. But now we've seen a rise in a number of entrepreneurship in Nigeria, people who call themselves entrepreneurs, and they say, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm into entrepreneurship. So, is the harsh realities of the economy in the real sector, the formal sector, driving more Nigerians to become what you can call one-man business? I'm a self-made businessman, I'm an entrepreneur.
So basically in Nigeria, you find that if you pick 10 small business holders or 10 entrepreneurs and you ask them questions, the process they went through before starting their businesses, you discover that 7 out of 10, and I'm speaking from statistics available, 7 out of 10 are not entrepreneurs in the real sense of the word. There are people who have nothing else to do, who have tried finding jobs and it's not working, or who have lost their job in the recent month and they have some 100, 200,000 somewhere, and they feel like, what next can I do? Oh, fish farming is a big business and people are eating fish, let me go into it. Oh no, Uber is in the main thing in town, let me buy a car and start Uber. So the challenge here is that people take to entrepreneurship as a means of survival, not necessarily because they have built a business model. They have built what we call minimum viable product. What is the minimum viable product? Have you built that? Do you even know the market you want to play in? So the reality for us is we've not gotten to that point where people start businesses based on insight, based on hardcore research, based on available evidence that I can run this business for a year, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, and move from it to another business. We haven't gotten to that stage. What we do for now is survival, out of a means for survival. They call it Me Too entrepreneurship. Oh, my friend is running a small business, he's doing fine, I can also try that. That's the reality we have in Nigeria for now.
But again, you find a number of people not necessarily out of jobs or unemployment, but they just feel, I'm a blue-collar or white-collar guy. I work in the bank, perhaps in the media, whatever, and I have some cash somewhere, perhaps saved from my salaries, whatever. So I just feel, well, I can have a second income. Let me just try something on entrepreneurship. Do you have that class of Nigerians as well, don't we?
Yeah, we have them, several in that category. Now, there's nothing wrong in going into entrepreneurship or finding a second source of income. Absolutely nothing wrong. But the challenge is, if you do not understand the pipeline, the entrepreneurship pipeline, that is from being an intentional entrepreneur to be a potential entrepreneur and then being a startup, if you don't go through the basics, you might end up investing in a business that the life cycle of that business is almost running out. Or you might invest in a business that there is a government policy that will be implemented in the next 4 or 5 months that is going to knock that business off. So most times, people want to find other sources of income, which is right. There's nothing wrong with that. They want to start a business planning ahead of their retirement or shift for career shift. Nothing wrong. But we need to be able to have a process whereby you want to start a business, you have an agency you can talk to. I want to invest 100,000. This is where I want to invest it in. And the agency guides you through and say, look, why that might seem right, but are you aware that in the next 6, 7 months, there is a global shift that might affect this business? So there's nothing wrong in seeking extra source of income, but you must be sure that you are investing rightly.
If you look at what entrepreneurship is and what it is not, there is the question about, let's redefine this. Entrepreneurship and medium and small enterprises, what really is the difference if you go by classic economic textbook definition or the central bank definition, Smithson definition of who is that entrepreneur, who is the medium and small enterprises? Is it necessarily the woman who is frying akara or puff by the street corner, or Celestine Okeke who has some a bit of a factory somewhere in Newi?
So basically, every country is at small and medium enterprise. There's no restriction in defining that. In Nigeria, it's done by your capital holding. So if you have less than 5 million and you employ less than 10%, you are defined as a micro entrepreneur. If you move up from having above 5 million and employ more than 10, you're a small business. If you move above from that, you become a medium enterprise. If you leave the MSME space completely, you are classified a large enterprise. So countries are at liberty to define how they want to grade and classify people who play at different levels at the entrepreneurship stage. But by and large, you need to first be an entrepreneur before you can start a micro, small, medium, or large enterprise. And the process of being an entrepreneur is what we've not gotten right in Nigeria. Money should not be the motivating factor. Me too, which simply means a friend is doing well in a trade and you want to copy that trade, shouldn't be the motivating factor. It has to be built on the fact that there is a need within a community of persons and you feel you have gotten the right knowledge on how to meet that need and how to even stay on meeting that need, because my need today might not be my need tomorrow. It might not be my need in the next 1 month. You need to build all of these structures in place so you can then say, okay, should I start at the micro level or should I start straight at the small, medium, or large enterprise level? And most times, the challenge we have is someone has 100,000, he wants to go into business. The next thing he does is to invest the entire 100,000. It's not always right. You need to be able to test the waters. I have 100,000, I want to run a small business. Why not invest 20% of that money, which is 20,000? Let's see what it looks like. If I test it for a while and it seems okay, I can invest another 30%, making 50 of my entire capital base. So I would have learned the tricks of that business and then get to a point where I'm confident to invest the entire money I have on the business. So it doesn't really matter whether you are a small, micro, medium, or large enterprise, but you need to first be an entrepreneur before you can play in that space.